Hello friends, and welcome to the channel. My name is Terry, and in this video we're going to be hooking up a food truck into a permanent location with a water line system run via Aquapex into the water system of the tray, as well as having to replace the heating element on an electric hot water heater. So if any of that interests you, then come for a ride with me. Let's get it. This week I'm going to be working on setting up my wife's food truck that I built for her last year. We've decided that what we want to do is put the food truck into a location where we can have it hooked up to water and septic on more of a permanent scale, so we don't have to move the food truck twice a day every day that she's open, right? So there was another Thai food truck in town, and the lady that owns it has decided not to return. Okay, it's a slightly older food truck. It was another home build. What I'm going to do is put my wife's food truck almost in the same place that this one is. I have to disconnect everything and move this food truck back here, where it will be relatively lined up with my wife's food truck and kind of up against the property line there, the trees. And what that'll do is allow her to use the old truck for extra food storage, freezers, things to that nature. So she'll be able to continue to work, whereas last year, several times during the year, she actually ran out of food. So this way she'll be able to keep more food on location and just keep pumping out the meals. So I'm going to set you guys up on the tailgate of my truck, and that's going to be parked right in behind me here. So you guys can kind of see as I take this frame down, move things out of the way, so I can really see what I'm dealing with and what I'm getting into here. So this is going to be interesting. Alright, so currently I am inside the food truck that we purchased that I'm going to be moving around for storage. I have already gone through and stripped out the triple bay sink, the refrigerator, the countertops, the stove, but now it's pretty well stripped out of everything that I don't need in here, and it'll give me more room for the larger shelving racks that I'm going to be putting in. Everything that I need to remove is now gone for me to be able to move the trailer. So now I need to go outside, and there's a few things I need to do. Along the back side of the trailer, there are still some things that are just kind of put alongside the trailer haphazardly. I don't even know what they are, most of them, except for a stool. There's some form stakes that are driven in the ground that were there to hold that big metal frame, tent frame that you saw me take down yesterday. So I have to go out there and try to remove those. Now what I have to do is take a small sledgehammer, doesn't have to be very big, and instead of pounding on those form stakes, I'm just going to raise the hammer up, and I'm going to let it just kind of fall against the form stake sideways several times. And what that should do, in theory, is vibrate that form stake down in the ground to loosen it up from around the gravel, and I should be able to lift it right out. That's what I've done in the past, but it does not always work. So I'm going to give that a try and see if I can get these form stakes out of the ground. That didn't work. The wind is so bad out there that it actually blew my camera over. And I'm just glad that this camera is sturdy. You know what I mean? I went ahead and continued working without my camera running. So what I may end up having to do is drive the stake down farther and see if that'll work, but there's no guarantees of anything at this point. Try hooking to it with my forklift and lifting it out of the ground. Now my forklift is a really old machine, okay? It's about 60 years old now. It's a 1960 something model. And I use it actually quite regularly during the summertime. The wintertime, it won't operate. So none of these studs, when we bought the trailer, had lugs on them. And I only removed one tire from the other trailer. So what I'm actually going to do is use 3 studs on each tire, because I don't have to go down the highway, I just have to pivot it around this tiny little yard. So that should hold them in place, assuming the tire is going to be capable of supporting the weight of the whole trailer without having the other 2 attached. So we'll see what happens. Okay, watch out, bud. Let me get up. I'm going to shift the load forward.
Why? It doesn't work?
If it looks like we're putting too much weight on these tires so it'll blow, I'll go inside and shift a bunch of the weight forward, so all the weight that's in the front is going to be on the forklift and not so much on this tire, or these tires. So I may end up having to do that. I don't know yet, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of weight in there. Heaviest thing in there right now is the damn freezer.
Yep.
And it's empty. And that's that. I got the tires on, and as you saw, I cut the septic lines loose from underneath. That allows me freedom of movement. I can get that septic line out of there and get this thing moved. Next, I'm going to drag that septic line out, start lowering weight down on this to see if these tires are going to support it.